Hello and welcome to the Lewis Nichols Show. And I'm really excited to bring on my next guest today. It's a huge success, of course, with S Club, but now your new album, we just speaking off air, is incredible. So let's say hello to Jo O'Meara. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Really good, thank you. It's so good to see you back with your own music, because obviously we all know you for S Club 7, one of the biggest bands ever. Brit Awards, #1 singles, but this new album feels different. It feels very authentic. Your love and passion for music really seems to stand out with this. So going back to the album, how did you put this together? Was it kind of a result of lockdown and having the time to write?
It was a little bit of both, actually, because it was decided, and I'd decided that I was going to get back into the studio literally 2 weeks before the lockdown happened. And then obviously we couldn't do anything for a long time. So it just gave me time to sort of get my thoughts together of where I wanted the album to go and the direction I wanted it to go in. And that was kind of covering all different genres, really. I didn't want to just put myself in one box and stay there. I wanted to sort of experiment with some different sounds and do some different stuff.
Well, I was lucky enough to obviously have a sneak peek of the album, which I have been listening to quite a lot. And the one song that, you know, when you just get goosebumps on your arms, and it's the build up of the song, which is I'll Be There. It's something about that song. It just seems to build and build and build. And I got goosebumps every time I listen to it. I mean, is that one of your favorite tracks? Because you seem surprised when I mentioned that.
Yeah, no, because it's a different kind of genre for me, because it's an up-tempo song. And where I always I'm known for doing the ballad stuff, for me to do quite a foot-stamping song is very exciting. And I loved recording that song. It's such a fantastic song.
It's quite an empowering song as well. And it's one I could see you doing live as well, and the audience kind of that momentum building. I mean,
it's
obviously,
a good big song.
With obviously this album, I guess that the passion is so there at the moment. Will a tour follow this? Will there be some live shows? Because I'd love to see this album live.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm out at the moment, I'm gigging, I'm doing like festivals and stuff like that. But I think once the album is actually released, we're looking to put in together quite an intimate tour, and then just take it out on the road, which I think I've missed the most, to be honest. And I think most artists have really missed just getting out there and doing what they do. So I'm really looking forward to getting back out there.
I know, seeing on social media, obviously with this album, you've released some singles already, which has had an incredible response. That must be a good feeling for you, because I imagine there's a big amount of nerves when it comes to putting your raw emotional work into something and then releasing out to the public.
It is. It's really scary, especially after, because my first album was 16 years ago. So it's been a very long gap in between. But do you know what? I just love being in the studio. I love creating music. I love singing. I love performing. So it's just a very natural thing for me to do. And I'm just so grateful to be back doing it again.
I mentioned before we came on that sometimes you get an album and you sit back and you listen to it, and it seems to transport you to a place in your own life. And a song that did it for me was Lay Your Hurt on Me. I mean, when I heard that, I was listening to every single lyric and feeling those emotions. What does that song mean to you? Where does kind of the inspiration behind that come from? Because it seems such a deep and powerful lyric.
It is. I wrote this song in a tribute. It was a tribute, really. I lost a friend in October to cancer, and he was only 39, and he was such a funny, it was like one of our really close friends. We used to go on holiday all the time, and he started complaining of not feeling very well, and then we found out he'd been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And like I said, we lost him in October, but he had a beautiful wife, 2 really young children. And it was such a sad, awful time. And the only way I could think to sort of do a fitting tribute for him was to just put the pen to the paper and write him a song. So his memory's there forever. His memory's imprinted on that album forever. So it's probably the most personal song on the album for me.
And for you, obviously, with being such a close friend, was that also, did it help with the grieving process? The fact that you could feel that emotion when it came to putting pen to paper, did it help with the grief side of things?
Um, yeah, it did, but you know, it was, even though we knew he was very, very poorly, it's such a shock, you know, and I think of him pretty much every single day, and I think probably still grieving. To be honest, I still can't believe that he's not here anymore. But that song, you know, I've not actually performed that song live yet. I'm just hoping that when the time finally comes, I will actually get through it and without sort of getting upset. But yeah, I'm really glad that I did that song, and I'm very happy that it's on the album.
Do you know, sometimes before I've interviewed people that have, you know, had huge success in a band and they come out with solo material, and sometimes, you know, it can be underwhelming. And when I was sent your album, I just thought, wow, I mean, it's one of the best. And it's, I keep listening to it. I love the country vibe that you've got to it. I love the
Oh,
versatility. I mean, so I think this is going to go really well. It's released later in the month. How are you feeling about it?
I'm, I'm a mixture of it all. I'm so excited. I'm nervous because it's like I said, I've not done this for a long time, so I am nervous. But to be honest, I'm really happy with the album. I think it's probably vocally the best work I've ever done. Um, so I can't give any more than what I've given. So on that side of it, I'm over the moon with it. I just hope everyone out there enjoys it.
I mean, I know you're still very kind of flying the S Club flag. You still go and do shows. You still perform the music because that was such a big part of your life. But I wanted to ask, especially at a young age, how do you deal with that level of fame? Because I mean, you were just people. I think it's only when you look back you realize what you were doing. I mean, it was
I know.
phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally just a roller coaster, wasn't it? It was so fast paced, and we didn't really get time to stop and actually see how successful we was. It's only in later years, and now I look back on it, I realise just what an impact S Club 7 made to so many people's lives, and I'm so grateful to be an S Clubber. I'm very proud of that.
Well, do you know what? I'm so glad that you've come on the show and to talk about this album because I think it's going to go really well. And I'm really hoping that the tour does follow because when you listen to the songs, you can just visualize it being performed live. And I think that's the great thing about this. So I'm really hoping that's going to follow.
Oh, it is. It's definitely going to happen. Yeah, we're going to just put it all together, and I think when I finally do actually tour this album, it will be a fantastic show. It
So,
will.
you know, when you look back at your childhood, where did that love of music actually come from for you? Were your family like musical?
I mean, not really, not overly. No, it's just something that's just in me. I think where like when you're young and your parents are sort of like playing music and stuff, you sort of pick up. But I discovered Karen Carpenter at a ridiculously young age, and she just done something to me. Like I just get lost in her voice, and it really started from there. To be honest, like my love for it, and then when I got up on the karaoke at the tender age of 12 and I did the locomotion, the Kylie version, um, it just came out of nowhere. I couldn't quite believe it myself. And then once I got the clap, I got the bug for it. And that was that. You know, I thought this is what I want to do. And I'm still doing it.
You know what's great in this interview because I've seen interviews with you, you know, in the past, and obviously when S Club finished, you still did shows and reunion tours. But
Yeah.
this now feels so authentic. You just seem so passionate, and it's like a new chapter for you that's starting all over again. Is that how you kind of feel? Because that's how it
I
comes across
do.
now.
Do you know what? I feel like I'm doing what I wanted to do forever, and I'm creating the music that I want to make now. And you know, I think life begins at 40. I really do. Since I've been in my 40s, just my whole life has changed. You know, I got fitter, I started training, I've got healthier, and I feel on top form. I feel the best I've ever felt for a very long time, and I think that's impacting in the music as well. So things are really good, really good.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to play three tracks on the radio show, and the link is in the description now for people to pre-order this album. And I cannot recommend it enough. And hopefully, the tracks we play on the show will be enough to convince people, because it is sensational. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me on. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank